Welcome back to It Was Never a Face Cards, and we are here with another promo video because these promos just won't stop going up, so we got to keep you guys updated on the latest market movements. And today we're going to be focusing mostly on Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era promos, and we are going to start off with one of my favorite promos from the Sword and Shield era, the Vaporeon VMAX number 182. Absolutely stunning card. This card has just continued to climb up and up. I am a big sucker for cards that have a lot of Pokemon in the background, and this is just another one. Absolutely stunning. It really sparkles in person as well. But this one is continuing to climb up 86% in the past 3 months. Every time we touch on this card, it just keeps going up and up and up. Current market price is around 103, most recent sale 104, and just steady growth. In the last month, it's up an additional, like 19%, almost 20%. You zoom out on the 1 year, it did have a little bit of a decline. A year ago, it was around $40. It ran up to, in March, almost around $80, just under. And then it kind of fell off for a little bit, down to around $54, $55. And then currently on a big run since about late June to current, that's kind of its big run up to 103, 104. And there's a few lowest listeds right now. Looks like it might come down just a little bit. A few in the 90s, and then it gets up back into that $100 mark. So maybe seeing a little dip on this card in the future. Absolutely stunning card. Do love this one a lot. We'll touch on the other evolution promos in this video as well, because they're just really great promos that have to be mentioned. And then here's another one. This is another one from Sword and Shield. This is number 020. This is a Pikachu promo that's had some massive growth recently, starting to get really low supply on TCG Player as well. You can see 63% in the past 3 months. Back here, it was around $39. Now we're seeing it at $65. However, check out where we're at with the lowest listeds. Lowest listed on this card right now is $121 as of this recording on TCG Player. The most recent sale, 69, 68, 70. So this card is due for a big shoot up if these sales hold right here. And it is low supply. There's only 11 copies currently listed. So that would make sense that this card would continue to run up. And you see after that, it does get into the $150 range potentially if we don't get some more listings and a few more sales. And it looks like that probably will happen just based off of the amount of sales in the past month. 37 have sold in the past month with only 11 currently listed. So it'll be something also to keep an eye on. This card's up 151% on the year. Looks like the 1 year low was around $25. It previously ran up to around 40, 44, and then cooled off to around 38 in May, and then is on a big tear right now. So that Pikachu number 020 with the starters, it's a nice looking promo. So just keep an eye out on this one, obviously for a big explosive growth once we start seeing these $120+ sales start to roll through. So definitely due for a big update on the chart once that happens. And then we talked about the Vaporeon VMAX. We also have to talk about the Vaporeon V. Stunning card as well. This one has kind of leveled off more recently since about late August. It hit that $90 mark and it's kind of just been hovering from August all the way, past few weeks. So nothing crazy more recently, but it is up like 75% in the past 3 months. And the last month you can see still up 10% in the past month, but you can see kind of where it's kind of held right there. Another nice looking card. You zoom out on the 1 year, pretty good growth, 191%, 1 year low of around $30, and lowest listeds right now as of this recording are right around $90, which is pretty much right at that market price. So it looks like the market price for this one holding strong. Maybe we need some more sales to go through to get this up to where it could possibly start to see some more movement. 64 copies currently listed, so maybe give it a little bit more time and we might see another bit of a run up. It does pair well with the VMAX as well. Nice looking cards, can't deny that. And then next up we have some Scarlet and Violet stuff. We have to talk about the Snorlax from 151. So this is the Pokemon Center stamped version, number 051. So the stamped version is what we're talking about with the Pidgey on his belly. Just chilling. Pidgey on his belly every time gets me. 84% growth in the past 3 months. It's continued to climb. Current market price $246. However, the more interesting point right here is check out these last solds, $315 and $330. Yeah, $330. You want to know the lowest listed right now? Lowest listed on TCG Player, $350. Then it goes up to $375, then $380, and then we're starting to close in closer to $400. Obviously, 151 PC ETBs are just absurdly expensive right now, so it makes sense that this promo would continue to do well. You zoom out right here, you're going to see insane growth, 297% on the year. A year ago, this was a $62 card. I did have a run up from last September all the way till March. That's when it previously hit that $200 mark, and then it fell off, cooled off all the way till June or July, and then pretty much went from a low of 130 up to now over $300 for the Snorlax Pokemon Center stamped promo. So we'll have to see where the ceiling is on these cards. This is one that just like starts to fascinate me. The crazier and crazier we get, it's just like, when will it end? And it doesn't seem like any end is in sight currently. So yeah, Snorlax, Pidgey Belly. I should call it. I like that. Let's get that trending in the comments. Pidgey Belly. The Pidgey Belly's up pretty big. And then we do have this card, this Gengar, Sword and Shield number 052, this Gengar promo that's up really big. Just in the past 3 months alone, 180% right here. You can see back here it was a $31 card. Now we're seeing it at around 87, 88. Definitely one of those lower supply cards currently. Only 14 copies currently on TCG Player, with lowest listeds just a little bit below current market, around 85 for the lowest listed, and then it goes up into the $100 and $150 range. So another interesting one with low supply, just to keep an eye on to see where we could go. It is, for a Gengar card, it's on the cutesier side, if you can believe that. So it's kind of a fun promo. I do like it. But if we zoom out right here, this one's insane. 785% on the year. One of the best performing promos we've looked at in a while. So it's just barely under $10 a year ago, and now we're probably going to see potentially $100+ here if you give this card just a little bit more time. Not a ton of these cards sell. In the last month, only 19 copies sold, but there's only 14 available. So maybe give this card a little bit more time, and we definitely could be seeing this one move up even bigger. So just keep an eye on this Gengar number 052, and I'll keep you guys updated, obviously, in the future, as I do post every single day. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on. And then one of the, this was starting to get some good value now, but I felt like this was one of the more underrated Pokemon Center stamped promos. This is the Magneton number 159. Starting to see some nice growth right here. 148% in the past 3 months. We already were seeing some good growth, but it's continued growth. Currently around $91 is what you can expect. Lowest listeds are a little bit lower than that. There's a few at 85, and then it goes back up to actually that current, above the current market price. So just 2 below. So I would say that that current market price is actually holding fairly well. If you zoom out right here, this is the Surging Sparks promo. Those PC ETBs have recently started to trend up, and I think that's part of what's helping shoot this card up. But at release, they were around $38. They ran up to 68 and then fell all the way down, back down to around 35. Stagnated in the 30s for a few months, and then obviously is on a big tear right now. Nice looking promo. Obviously, Shinji Kanda being the artist, getting a lot of attention in general right now. And, you know, Gen 1 Pokemon. So it's nice to see Magneton, obviously, on this chart at an all-time high. Easy to say, easy to spot, easy to see. All-time high, nice looking card. So Pokemon Center stamps continuing to dominate every promo video we do. I keep saying that, and it's just because it's true, right? That's just the facts right now. You can't deny that these cards are performing extremely well. Before we go any further, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is me. I don't do this very often, but if you guys want to support the channel in any way, there are links in the description for eBay, TCG Player, Amazon. If you want to pick up like the cases that I have my cards in, there are links for all of that stuff down below. Or if you want to check out my website, itwasneveraphasecards.com. I 3D print a lot of accessories. So we got slab bumpers in cool colors. We got 4-way stands. We have a rotating LED display stand, which is right here. We have 2-tier graded card stands. You can stack them up. We have keychains, a lot of cool stuff. If you want to support the channel, feel free to check it out. If not, no worries. It's just, people tell me like you should push your own stuff. It's hard for me to do, but full transparency. So there it is. If you want to check it out and support the channel, cool. If not, no worries. And then we got to get back to some Sword and Shield stuff. This is the Flareon VMAX. By the way, I've said it many times, so I apologize if you've been around the channel and you've heard it, but all of these Evolution Sword and Shield promos are so good. I really, really enjoy all of these promos. This Flareon VMAX with the giant Flareon, you got the Executor chilling, you got a Slowpoke sleeping, just chef's kiss. I love all of these cards. They're so fun. But back to the numbers, which is why you guys are here. 83% in the past 3 months, from under 40 up to around 72, 73 currently. Market at 74.80. Quite a few copies of a lot of these available. It'll be interesting to see if at some point we start to see the supply start to dwindle on some of these. So that'll be interesting, because that's when these ones will really shoot. I still feel like a lot of these promos should have some bigger potential, but maybe it'll just take a little bit more time. Not that they're not expensive. Obviously, $75 promo is an expensive card, but it's something that the arts are just so good on them. But anyways, 193% gain on the year. Oh, I forgot to mention the number. Sorry. This is number 180, Sword and Shield 180 for the Flareon VMAX. Back here at $25, ran up to 45, looks like in January, December, kind of stagnated there, dipped down a little bit, down to 40 in June, and then on a big tear recently, like most promos are. Lowest listeds are 74 with shipping, so right there at that current market price for the Flareon VMAX. Next up is the Zorua Pokemon Center stamp. This card finally seeing some big gains, which I think it was just kind of lagging behind one of those undervalued. But we're starting to see this card. It's a lot of low supply that's driving a lot of these prices. 14 copies is all that's available on TCG Player right now. But this is number 189, the promo right here, up 51% in the past 3 months. You can see just right here, it was like under 40, 38, and then it shot up big. So big percentage gain, $60 card. As of now, lowest listeds are even higher. So something else to keep an eye on. Definitely has some big potential. A few $80 sales, and then it moves up into the $100 and up range. So could see some more big movement on this card in the future. Last solds, we do have some already in that 85 range, a few 64, 85, 58, and 2 more at 85. If you zoom out right here, you can see this is it, right? $54 at release, and then it just fell, and then finally things started to get scarce. Promos started to run, and people started to pick up this card. So big movement recently, and it was on just kind of a steady decline there for a while. But nice to see it getting some movement, if I'm being completely honest. And then we're going to move back over to the Eevee. We're like jumping over Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield. This is the Flareon V, another nice Evolution promo, number Sword and Shield 179. Just continuing to climb up, chug up, just like everything else. 52% growth in the past 3 months. From 47 up to around 72 currently. If you zoom out to the 1 year, a year ago, the 1 year low was around $28. It shot up at the beginning of this year, January, to around 50, and it kind of stayed in that $40 or $50 range from January pretty much all the way until August is when it kind of broke out, and it's been on a steady climb since then. Another nice looking promo sitting by the fire. He's got his little yarn here. It's another fun card. Like I said, all of these arts I thought were really, really great top tier arts for promos. Lowest listeds right now are pretty much at that current market price of that lower $72 range. So it's going to take some more sales to move. 52 sold in the last month, 51 currently available. So we'll have to see. Once again, keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you guys updated in the future on all of these cards in general. Then we have the Miraidon. So we're starting to see some more Pokemon Center stuff moving. The Scarlet and Violet base, I believe we'll also touch on the Koraidon in a second as well. It's very similar chart, similar setup. 44% growth in the past 3 months. So this is the Miraidon Pokemon Center stamp. This one was on a little bit of a decline as well. If you zoom out actually on the 1 year, you can see 1 year low of 25. It did shoot up to around late January, early February, $75, $76. Held that for a while, and then it's been falling. Fell all the way back down to in the 40s, and then a pretty big uptick right now. Market's at 89. However, the last solds, check out these last solds. Starting to see some crazy numbers here. 190, 148, 125, 174. So really big jump in price. Once this chart updates, these are going to look like some pretty insane gains. Lowest listeds currently 135 in the 140s, and then it goes up from there. Quite a few in the 140s and 150 range. So that's probably where it's going to probably hang out for a while. After it sees these other sales go through, but lower supply, 24 copies currently listed. So it's a nice looking promo too, by the way. I do like both the Miraidon and the Koraidon. I think SV base in general still underrated. I really like SV base a lot, but these two promos both doing well. We'll touch on the Koraidon in a second, but first we have to do the Jolteon VMAX. This is Sword and Shield number 182. This is the one where he's jumping and the lightning striking. It's super cool. Once again, just all of these, every time I look at them, these artworks are just so great. 62% growth in the past 3 months from a $44 card up to around 71, 72. 49 copies currently available. You zoom out right here on the 1 year, a 1 year low of 37. It did shoot up late December, early January. 60 was the previous high, and then it fell down all the way to around 42 in June before going on its big run right now on a 1 year high, obviously in that $70 range. Lowest listeds, let's see, we're at like, there's some English copies right here, 66, and then it goes up into the 70s and 80s. So another one that will just need maybe a little bit more time before it really sees like some crazy gains potentially. And that doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to happen at all either. It just kind of seems like where we're currently at is just these promos will just continue to pump up in price into the near future. But just in the last month, 25% gains as well. 65 copies sold in the past month. So supply could start to dwindle on this copy as well if things keep up. So another interesting one. All of the evolution promos, keep an eye on. And then the Koraidon, real quick. This is going to look very similar, like I mentioned, to the Miraidon chart. Almost, fairly identical, honestly. But if you zoom out, it was around $29 last year. It ran up to 81 in March, and then it fell off very similarly to the Miraidon to around $49.50, and then a big uptick right now. Current market at 89, and all of the lowest listeds you have 130, 190 up into the 200 plus range. So keep an eye out for the Koraidon Pokemon Center stamped, seeing some big gains in the future. Next up, we have Jolteon V. This is Sword and Shield number 183. And this is that Sonic the Hedgehog vibe Jolteon that we've talked about before. Another fun one. This one's more leveled off recently. Let's see, in the past month. It's actually dropped a little bit. Technically down around 1% in the past month. Still up 52% in the past 3 months, though. So seeing some pretty big gains overall, and 151% growth on the year. $25 a year ago. Previously went to around 40 and then kind of dropped back down into the 30s, and then some big growth more recently, which was back in August. So it's kind of held and just dropped just a little bit more recently. So that's one that is not continuing to trend up quite as much, which is maybe a little surprising just based off of what the other evolutions are doing. But a nice looking card. I do like this one a lot as well. 81 copies available with 49 sold in the past month. Like I said, probably need a bit more sales to go through just to kind of get that supply lower before we start seeing some more movement. But yeah, really nice looking card. All of these cards I do like a lot. And then I think we are done with the Sword and Shield, and we're going to end it off with a few Scarlet and Violet stuff. This is the Eevee Prismatic stamped card, Pokemon Center stamped number 173, the Sleepy Eevee. This one's continued to chug up. It's up 90% in the past 3 months. And if we zoom out right here, I guess we'll go off the 1 year. At release, $108. It did run up to $152 in March, fell all the way back down to around $50. And now we're seeing it on a pretty big upswing. Current market price is around $108. Lowest listeds are pretty much right there. There's one a little lower, and then you're in a few sales till you actually bump up into that 120 range. So probably going to continue to uptick as well. More copies of this one available, 59 with 179 sold in the past month. So we'll see if those sales slow down as the price has increased, which it kind of looks like it has. So we'll have to keep an update on this one. This one definitely has some big potential. I've compared it in the past to see where the Snorlax is, where the Charmander stamp promo is, and that's kind of where potential ceilings are for this card. Obviously extremely popular, so there is some big upwards movement potential there, and obviously with it being in Prismatic, an extremely popular set. So some definitely this card's going to continue to go up, okay? At least for the foreseeable future. And then Paldea Evolved, Pokemon Center stamped Pikachu. This is number 027. It's up 57% in the past 3 months. Just continues to chug up. Another very low supply promo currently on the market. 13 copies listed. They had the market at 123. Most recent sales, though, check this out. You got 3 at 147. You got 1 at 200. 1 at 144, 1 at 190, 1 at 200. So sales have been kind of all over the place as far as pricing goes. Lowest listeds right now, well above the current market price and well above 147. 190 is the lowest, and then we go into the 200 plus range. And then, I mean, really not that many listings until it's potentially at $300. So it's obviously a really nice promo with Pikachu and the 3 starters. And coming from Paldea Evolved, currently, you know, the most expensive Scarlet and Violet set, if you're looking at booster box pricing. So definitely has a lot of momentum there. You zoom out right here, 279% gains on the year, a $31 card a year ago. Previous high was 116, so we're at a new all-time high for Pikachu number 027 for the stamped version. Just continuing to chug up and up. The Pokemon Center stamp promos, like I said, very fascinating. It's something that I follow fairly closely. So yeah, I can't wait to see like just where the ceiling is on all of these. Like how insane can they really go for just even these raw prices? PSA 10 prices are just a completely other story. They're insane, and we didn't really touch on any of that in this video just because of the sheer amount of promos that I wanted to cover. I covered a lot, and if we touched on PSA 10s for everyone, every single card, this would be like a hour-long video. So I just didn't have time to incorporate that, but we'll touch on that more in the future. I feel like I've been doing a decent job of making sure to mention PSA 10 prices when I felt like it was like applicable. But lastly, to end the video off, that Charmander smushing his forehead up against the glass at the Pidgey, the angry Charmander. This is number 044, Pokemon Center stamped version. 152% growth in the past 3 months. We already know that this card's been insane at all-time high. A year ago it was $69, $66.69. Its previous all-time high was in March of this year, and then it fell off back down to in the 90s, and now we're seeing current market price at $242. Lowest listeds, you have one a little bit below that, and at $232, and then it goes, you're right at that $240 mark and up. So this one obviously has been just dominating. We'll have to see. And it's a really good promo. It makes sense. If you're going to try and go after a rare stamped version, and this one, you know, extremely popular first gen with a really super fun art. So it makes sense why this one's doing really well. But yeah, that's currently where we're at. 33 copies currently listed. And so a little bit higher than some of the other ones like the Pikachu we just talked about, with 35 sold in the past month. But with the prices going up, the sales looks like they're slowing down a little bit. So we'll have to see where this one ends up as well. Obviously, you know, the box that this comes from, Obsidian Flames, Pokemon Center ETB, just seeing bonkers numbers. All of the PC ETBs are doing really well. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. This was a promo update. Essentially, it was just Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. I don't think we touched on any XY or older stuff at all. We'll probably touch on, there is some Sun and Moon promo stuff that we might touch on in the near future. I know that Mew and Mewtwo card, that promo is just so good. That one's been moving up pretty decently. I think it's another big uptick, so we might need to touch on that in an upcoming video. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any cards you'd like me to try and cover in a future video, let me know in the comments. And like I mentioned about towards the beginning there, middle-ish, if you want to support the channel in any way, there are links down below. If not, no worries. Try not to push that like too hard on you guys, but just, you know, have to mention it every now and again. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I post, if you're new to the channel, I post some sort of Pokemon card video every single day. So, and we're coming up on, I took a little bit of a break once we get to next month, because a year ago I was in Japan and I ended up having like a few days where like I didn't post anything. So in October will be a year straight of a video, at least one video every day. And a lot of the times it's like two, sometimes even three videos a day, depending on what's been going on. If it's a live stream or there's shorts. So that's going to be a fun little milestone that we hit next month. So super excited for that. Thank you guys all for the support. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.